Episode 2, Why That Heartbreak Saved You. Hello everyone. If you're new here, buckle up. If you're not, welcome back to your weekly dose of delusion detox. This is Too Self-Aware, and today we're talking about why that heartbreak, yes, that one, might have actually saved you. Let's be honest. Heartbreak feels like hell. No one's glamorizing it here. It's a full-body experience. Mind, body, soul, everything aches. The bed feels colder, the days feel longer, and even your favorite songs sound like betrayal. But here's the truth you might not want to hear yet. That heartbreak might have been the divine detour, the cosmic no, the wake-up call wrapped in pain. 'Cause sometimes the person who breaks you is also the person who was blocking you. You weren't going to leave. You weren't going to walk away. You were too loyal, too hopeful, too committed to potential, not reality. You kept forgiving, kept explaining, kept lowering the bar until it became a doormat. And the universe? It got tired of watching you beg for breadcrumbs, so it ended it for you. Not because you weren't worthy of love, but because you were too worthy to keep settling for a love that looked calm but felt like walking on eggshells. Let's call it what it is. He wasn't your soulmate. He was your lesson. He was the proof, the pattern, the catalyst. You weren't in a love story. You were in a survival loop, but you're out now. That heartbreak, it set you free. Free from the mind games, the second guessing, the constant pressure to make yourself smaller just to be accepted by someone who was never ready for the real you. It forced you to sit with yourself, to face the silence, to rebuild, and maybe you didn't want to. Maybe you screamed into your pillow and stared at your phone and prayed for a text that never came. That's human. That's heartbreak. But that doesn't mean it wasn't the beginning of something sacred. You know what happens after the heartbreak? You meet you. The real you. The version that doesn't people please to earn love. The version that sets boundaries. The version that no longer romanticizes inconsistency. You become the version of yourself that chooses peace over potential. And that version? She doesn't chase. She attracts. She doesn't beg. She embodies. She doesn't ask, why wasn't I enough for him? She asks, why was I so willing to dim my light for someone who couldn't even see it? Let's talk about what you actually lost. You didn't lose a soulmate. You lost someone who couldn't meet you. You lost confusion. You lost the weight of carrying the entire connection on your back. You lost the constant waiting, the half-hearted replies, the silent treatment, the hot and cold circus act. You lost anxiety, and that is a win. Let's stop pretending it was good just because you were attached. Love is not meant to be earned through pain. It's not meant to feel like proving your worth every single day. Love is not a test. That guy was a lesson you didn't deserve, but you learned it. Maybe he didn't cheat. Maybe he didn't scream. But he didn't show up either. He didn't choose you with consistency. And that is still abandonment. That is still not love. You know what real love looks like? It's clarity, it's effort, it's safety, it's being seen fully without having to perform. If you had to act unbothered to keep him, it wasn't love. If you had to shrink to be chosen, it wasn't love. If you had to beg for emotional scraps, it wasn't love. That was control. That was ego. That was his fear, his trauma, not your truth. So yes, mourn him, Grieve what could have been, but then celebrate the fact that it ended, that it collapsed before it cost you you. Because the longer you stayed, the more you forgot your own magic, and now you're remembering. You're remembering how powerful you are, how soft your heart is, how intuitive, how bold, how worthy you've always been, and you're not giving discounts anymore. That heartbreak was protection. That heartbreak was alignment. That heartbreak was divine timing disguised as disaster. It saved you from spending another year explaining your worth to someone who should have seen it from day one. If it didn't break you open, would you have ever asked for more? Would you have left the job that drained you, cut off the friendships that judged you, or started that new chapter? Sometimes we don't grow until we're forced to. Sometimes we don't wake up until the pain slaps us clean across the face. But now you're awake. You're healing, and healing doesn't always look cute. Some days it's messy, some days it's numb, some days it's raging into your pillow and asking why you weren't enough. But every day you choose yourself again. That's power. Every time you stop yourself from texting him, every time you delete the draft, every time you put the phone down and pour into yourself instead, that's the revolution. You didn't lose him, you released him. You took your energy back. You walked out of the narrative where your love had to be earned through struggle. And that is brave, that is holy. You are not hard to love. You are hard to manipulate. And that's why he left. You are not bitter for remembering how badly it hurt. You are not dramatic for honoring your grief. But don't mistake grief for regret. Because even in your sadness, you're more free than you've ever been. Let this be your reminder. You are not the woman who gets stuck anymore. You are not the woman who waits for closure. You are not the woman who tolerates bare minimum effort. You are the woman who glows without needing permission, who builds without needing validation, who blocks and blesses with no apology. You are the woman he'll think about when the silence gets loud. But you won't even flinch. Because you're too busy building the life he wasn't strong enough to stand beside. This heartbreak didn't break you. It introduced you to the real you. And the real you, she's unstoppable. So if you needed the sign, this is it. You didn't lose a love, you lost a lesson. You didn't lose a soulmate, you lost a story you outgrew. You didn't lose yourself, you found her, buried under all the compromise. So here's your to-do list. Romanticize your new chapter. Stop explaining your intuition, and start living like the heartbreak was your origin story, not your ending. Because it was. This is where your life begins. This is where you rise, louder, freer, and more you than ever before. You're not healing to get him back. You're healing to never settle like that again. And that's why the heartbreak saved you. Thanks for listening to Too Self-Aware, where healing is holy, truth is savage, and choosing yourself isn't up for debate. New episodes drop every Sunday.